Contrary to popular belief, James Bond is an absolutely terrible spy. The primary goal of espionage is to gather intelligence clandestinely so that no one knows it's being done. Rather than shooting up a city or leading an elaborate car chase, the best spies in the world operate in the shadows, quietly stealing state secrets from around the world right under the noses of foreign governments. Quite frankly, if a spy has to pull out his gun or someone is chasing him, he's done something very wrong. And don't even get me started on the Bond girls. In real espionage, some of the best spies are not mere busty, lusty man-eaters. They're highly trained, professional women who hold clandestine meetings with foreign assets all over the world, track terrorists, and write and brief the President of the United States. I should know. I was one of them. Of course, I came into contact with many James Bond wannabes during my time at the CIA. They were certainly smooth operators, but truth be told, after several years there, I was done dating spies. The agency attracted some of the most interesting individuals, and I was convinced I had dated them all. There was the spy who cooked me crepes in the nude, the spy who rifled through my panty drawer, and of course, the married spy who broke my heart. I promised myself never again. And absolutely, under no circumstances would I marry one. Then I met Ryan, and I didn't stand a chance. I didn't start off dreaming of joining the CIA. Prior to college, I didn't have much exposure to the wider world at all, let alone the world of international espionage. I grew up primarily in the Midwest in a Catholic family that alternated between being Christmas and Easter Catholics and regular Mass attendees. I was the youngest of 3 kids, and my mom stayed home with my siblings and me until returning to nursing part-time when I started high school. She was born in a small town in West Virginia, and at 10 years old, she moved with her parents and siblings to a farm that had been in her family for generations. That farm and its rolling hills and roaming cattle became a permanent fixture of my childhood and the place where I spent the majority of my holidays until I became an adult. My dad, also from West Virginia, grew up in a nearby town, and throughout my childhood, he traveled domestically and internationally for his work as a safety and environmental manager at an aluminum plant. When I was in elementary school, we moved to a suburb of Chicago, where my traditional meat and potatoes family values continued to take root. Each day, I traveled by bus through cornfields to school and came home to my cookie-cutter house on a cul-de-sac. I lived a largely normal Midwestern childhood, participating in extracurricular activities like basketball and marching band. My mother played the traditional role of stay-at-home mom who volunteered as room mom, sewed matching outfits for my siblings and me each holiday, and had dinner on the table by 5 o'clock every night. My dad carried his weight by doing the stereotypically male chores, like mowing the lawn and taking out the trash, and he was always good for a game of pig or horse in our driveway. While I had never thought of my parents as having the most agreeable or even the happiest of marriages, divorce wasn't in my frame of reference. You can imagine my complete and utter shock when they divorced my senior year of high school after 25 years of marriage. My dad and I had been touring a college a few hours away when my mom filled her car with a few essentials and left. She had rented an apartment across town and invited me to stay with her. I was the only child still living at home at the time. Even though I missed her, I chose to finish out my senior year with my dad. When the summer began, I joined my mom in her tiny apartment and began to come to grips with the fact that everything I thought I knew about marriage and family had been turned upside down.